Welcome to day 167 of our BitClout journey. I'm Ed Krasenstein here with my twin brother Brian. And it's been really slow around BitClout. User engagement is down, new user signups are way down. So I think we're kind of in this lull. We're hoping that something big happens soon. We don't know when that's going to happen, but we are expecting the referral program and the new front end any day now, really.
Yeah, I made a post right before this video of I know we get the reputation of being these forever optimists about BitClout, and we're really optimistic about the technology, and we really are. But I mean, over the last I'd say month or two, I think we've seen a lot of things that have frustrated users. We've seen engagement slow up. We've seen user retention drop. We've seen new users coming on board dry up, kind of. We've seen kind of a lack of a roadmap about what's to come. I know we talk about what's coming, but a lot of what we talk about stuff we get through back channels, and a lot of what we talk about, we don't have a definite date or exactly what's coming. So I think that we need more transparency. I know that the core team's been working their butts off. I know that as we speak, they're working on the code, and you can see that on GitHub. But I think that there is reason to be kind of pessimistic here for some of the people who have been here for several months, because they don't see any growth. I think this is kind of normal within any crypto, especially one that relies so heavily on coding. But I do think that the core team can be more open, can kind of provide more of what's going on to us all. I think that we're hopefully going to see this over the course of the next couple of weeks. But I do want to address issues, and I do think that when the opportunity is there and when things aren't going the way a lot of people expect them to, we should be able to call them out and say, hey, these are some things that aren't working. And that's what we want to do. We don't ever want to just be completely positive, because that's not going to help the platform at all.
Yeah, so I mean, we know the referral program is coming because the GitHub shows that it's been approved by maybe. When is it coming? We don't know. We assume it'll come probably with or before the new front end. When's the new front end coming? Again, we don't know. We assume that's coming before the Coinbase listing. When's the Coinbase listing coming? We've heard rumblings that it's coming sometime in October. So we can kind of put the puzzle together and figure out when this stuff's coming. Today, we also discovered that NFT transfers and NFT burning ability is something that has just been approved by Maybeam as well on GitHub. So we can assume that's coming. Will that be part of a greater version 2 release for the NFT platform, or will it just be, an added feature that comes on top of version 1? Again, we don't know.
Yeah, so basically what we see is Red Party Hat on GitHub has done a pull request trying to put this information into the main code. What we do know is that there's going to be an option to burn an NFT, transfer an NFT, and accept an NFT, meaning if somebody transferred you an NFT, you don't automatically accept it, because what if somebody transferred you a swastika NFT? You're not going to accept it. So you have the option of accepting it. So these are actually three key features that people have been asking for, or two: burning and transferring. And I think it's going to add more functionality to the NFT, because you don't necessarily have to sell an NFT in order to give somebody something. If you're working on something like badges, like I know there's some projects out there that are working to create badges for people. You don't want to charge someone for a badge. You want to give them the badge. And I think that the ability to burn an NFT is really important too, because you might accidentally create an NFT, you might forget something in an NFT you mint and have to burn it and repost it. There's a variety of reasons why you might want to burn one. So this is exciting. And like Ed said, I think that I don't know if it's going to be coming before the front end changes with it. We don't know. It looks like it's coming really soon, along with referrals. So I would be surprised if it goes out more than a couple of weeks. It could even happen this week for all we know.
Yeah, so we know the core team's been traveling for approximately 10 days. They've been together. They've been working on the road. They haven't been in the office, but you can still get work done on the road in today's day and age. So I mean, we know stuff's being worked on, we know stuff's in the pipeline, we know that stuff's coming, but like Brian said, I think it would be helpful if the core team could put out a calendar of sorts that shows like when they expect a certain feature to drop. I know it's hard to pick a date and stick to it because there are issues, there's changes that need to be made, but why not create a calendar with estimates? And you can always move those dates around as changes need to be made.
Yeah, like a roadmap, like having a roadmap where you can say, hey, we're gonna roll this out then, and then after that, we're looking to list here and here and here. I know some things they can't say because they're still in discussions, like with Coinbase, maybe they're still in discussions about the exact date or about how it's gonna work, or maybe Coinbase doesn't want it, they're a public company, so they don't want something leaking right now. So that's totally understandable. But other things that are solely related to BitClout and the coding of BitClout and what's the features and what their plan is to onboard more people, I think we need to know this so that developers can feel more confident. Right now, I know developers are not confident. They are not feeling like they have the 100% support of the core team.
Well, at the same time, I've talked to developers who are really enthused about BitClout. So I don't think you can lump all developers into one category, because there are developers that are really excited about BitClout and super excited about the new front end and the Coinbase listing. So there's just there's concerns within BitClout, within the community, within the developer community, and BitClout's done a great job at addressing most of those concerns, but there still remain a few.
Yeah, and I think that if you have a developer fund, I think that will go a long way in appeasing a lot of the developers. It's hard to develop on a new platform like this when you don't know the future. Do we spend a lot of money and a lot of time and a lot of manpower on a new project, knowing that it could take us 1, 2, 3, 6 months before it's complete, not knowing where we're going to be in 1, 2, 3, 6 months? It's hard. And if you have the funding, if you have some funding at least, then that's gonna give you a lot of leeway in choosing what you're going to do and allow you to kind of concentrate on a project, even if it's not being monetized right away.
And let me say, Brian and I are as optimistic as anyone on this platform, and we plan to be here in 20 years from now on BitClout. So we have no plans of going anywhere. We plan to stick through with it, and we're really excited about everything that's coming. And
yeah,
we couldn't be more excited right now.
Yeah, and I actually made a post the other day, and I said that I'm just as excited at $55 clout as we were at $200 clout, because the coin price, although I think it is hampering things a little bit, it's making people a little bit hesitant to onboard friends and family because they don't want to see them lose money. I think that the technology is what we've been concentrating on, and the technology is sound. The technology has so much that it could offer, and the future of this type of decentralized social media or Web 3.0, I think is incredibly bright. And I think this is like a ground floor opportunity in that. It's just that you don't want to link the coin price to the tech, because the coin price is going to fluctuate up and down like any crypto. The tech, it's only going to go up as we develop on top of it.
And one last thing I want to talk about: NFTs and the Coinholder royalties. We were under the assumption for the last several months that when you buy an NFT, the Coinholder royalties goes into buying the creator coin of the artist and putting a floor there where it's locked in forever. But is this not the case anymore, Brian? Were we completely misunderstanding this entire system?
It's really hard to say. I'm not really exactly sure. Tijin, how am I saying his name wrong?
Time.
He made a post basically showing how the sales function if you get an NFT royalty. So he had one account buy half of a creator coin in this new account, and then he transferred, I think, that coin to another account, and then purchased an NFT for one clout from that original account. And what you can see is that the person you sell first got a substantially higher amount of that reward from that Coinholder royalty as the second person you sell. But I still don't understand exactly the functionality, and I think that the core team could be a little bit more clear on this. I know there's some lines of code which they can't really read into right now, but we're continuing to talk to some of the developers along with time, along with some other developers. And I think we're going to probably get to the bottom of exactly how this functionality works. And once we do, we'll post about it.
Yeah, it's interesting because I mean the communities kind of had this idea, and we were under the assumption as well as the majority of the community that it worked one way. I'm just surprised a bit that BitClout, the core team, didn't correct that mistake that most of us.
Well, I like it's confusing. I don't even want to go as far and saying it doesn't lock coin in. It's just I think along the bonding curve, it gets confusing, and I don't want to say anything about it that I don't totally understand yet. And like I said, we just found out about this morning, and we're looking more into it, and we'll tell you guys about it once we find some more out about it.
All right, well, I think that's a good place to leave off on day one.
Oh, but one more thing. So that we actually minted an NFT last night. It's going to get you several. It's a utility NFT. The minimum bid was $10. I think the bid's up to about $60 right now. But you're basically going to get to be on this show on any day out of the next 10 days or so. You can pick what day you want to be on the show. We're going to give you a shout out on our show tomorrow. This auction is going to end at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to give you a shout out on our profile bio and a shout out in a post. So it's a good way to kind of show how the utility and NFT space can work, and how creators can kind of utilize their following to kind of profit and sell an NFT. And we're going to put 50% of the revenue from the sale back into the creator's coin who purchases it. So that ends at 9:30 p.m.
Yeah, and also check out the BitClout NFT if you're selling your own NFTs. If you buy one of their I think they have 3, but one has sold. If you buy one of the 2 remaining ones, your NFT is going to be featured on the top of checkbitclout.com. So be sure to check that out as well. And Van Halen's doing a great job with that. I think too that will be a great end for day 167 of our BitClout journey. Talk to everyone tomorrow.